see me? Do they see me? If you'll please rise, the board meeting of the School District of Manatee County will come to order. If you all please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. The chair has found good cause to amend the agenda to include all items listed under agenda amendments on the August 14, 2018 agenda, updated August 13, 2018, and posted to the district website. Vice Chair Messenger, do we have any speakers for public comments?
We have to approve the agenda first.
Oh, that's right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. So moved.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay. Vice Chair Messenger for an amendment to the agenda.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to amend to the agenda to add a motion to rescind the decision to name the North County High School North River.
Okay. We have a motion.
I'll second so we can talk about it. Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Messenger for debate or explanation.
Well, I had previously asked Michelle to add this, and then I kind of pulled back, waiting to hear a little bit more facts. And really, what the facts laid out was that, this is about a community asking for the school to be named as part of their community. There were some questions about the founder of Parish, but that member, he didn't come to Manatee County until after the Civil War. So that, I think, is self-explanatory when it comes down to some of the accusations. So I really believe that it deserves to be on there and to be further discussed.
Okay. Any other discussion on Vice Chair Messenger's motion to amend the agenda to include a motion to rescind the naming? Mr. Cologne.
The only thing I would like to know is why this is coming up now when we went through an extensive process to do this. We had public comment. We had the naming. Everybody's allowed to.
This is just about the motion to amend.
It's just about the motion to amend? Fine. Okay. No comment.
Mr. Minor? I just want to make a statement because, the point that concerns me is, as you know, I committed to put it on and then you asked for it to come off. And I would have liked for it to have been on the agenda and noticed so we could ensure that everyone in the community related to it could come, which would have happened had we put it on. And I understand, and because of Sunshine, we weren't even able to discuss why the change. So, my concern is that it's significant enough. I just don't know that we've given all the public notice to have this discussion. But
Well, I'll point out that
Mr. Minor,
I agree with you.
I call the question.
Okay, he calls the question.
Okay, so members, we are on voting to amend the agenda for a new business item, which is a motion to rescind the motion naming the new high school North River High School.
I call the question.
It's been moved and seconded. Let's see. You seconded it, so could you go click the second button?
If you'll just take a voice vote on this one, and then the one that's up there is for the approval of the agenda.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Opposed?
Opposed.
No. So we had Mr. Minor, Ms. Messenger, and Mr. Kennedy in the affirmative, and I'll vote with Mr. Cologne. So we will amend the agenda. So clerk, if you will show it to be item number 4 under new business, non-consent items. Okay,
Mr. Chair?
yes.
Can I just, and I'm, Mr. Dye, maybe we can't even do this. I was just going to suggest that perhaps we do this item just after public comment, if
That's-
Roberts will allow that.
Yeah, no, we can amend the order of the agenda at any time. So I believe,
Is that a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we move this new item to become item number 5 directly after public comment and before the public hearing on the student progression plan.
okay, Mr. Kennedy has moved the new item, which we just added to the agenda, to the first item
It would,
after approval of the minutes?
after public comment.
After public
before the
comment.
public hearing.
So it'd be the new number 5.
It would be the new 5, right?
Okay, because we have the public hearing, so after public comments. All right, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, is there any debate on the motion to reorder the agenda to place the motion to rescind the naming of North River High School to follow public comments? Is that correct?
Why? Why can't we just follow?
No, I just want to make sure, is it to follow public comments?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr.
Why?
Mr. Cologne for debate.
Well, let's not debate.
No, I'm just asking why. I could ask.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Kennedy for response.
Yeah, sure. The answer is because we have a lot of people here for this item and on this item, and out of respect to them, why don't we just get this out of the way early so they don't have to sit here for a few hours waiting to speak to it.
All right, any further debate? Hearing none, all in favor of reordering the agenda to have the new business item, a motion to rescind the motion to name the new high school North River High School. All in favor, aye? Or is this a voice vote? Aye. Okay, show the agenda reordered. And now I believe we're on public comment.
Okay. There is a lot of people signed up for public comment, so I'm going to give our typical spiel and ask that everyone adhere to the rules. Public comment is not an open forum to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the school board or public. Also, public comments is not a forum to attack individual school system employees or board members. Any such complaints should be submitted in writing to the superintendent for appropriate handling. Finally, this is not a forum for addressing issues involving individual students. Because of privacy concerns, such issues should be submitted in writing to the superintendent for appropriate handling. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address the board. This is a business meeting of the school board, and the public expects that we conduct it in an orderly, efficient, effective, and dignified manner. We request that speakers keep this in mind when making your comments. We also request that the audience keep that in mind and not demonstrate approval or disapproval of what a speaker has said by clapping or booing. The board appreciates the public's input and will listen attentively, consider each comment, and usually will not respond, enter into debate, or answer questions during comments on agenda items or during the public comments section. And with that, I'm going to start with Miss Kathy Straight. After Kathy Straight will be Stacy Carlin. And since I believe there's people in overflow rooms, I'm going to call a couple names out so people can start heading down. So Kathy Straight, Stacy Carlin, and then will be Linda Scheich.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. To begin, I want to thank the school board for all their hard work on having the mill passed. I know you all worked really hard, and we appreciate that. Also, I want to thank whoever was in charge of getting our keynote speaker for the Teacher Learning Conference. You did a great job. She was amazing. LaRon Rump, great woman. So whoever was in charge of that, thank you. That being said, on July 27th, I attended a workshop on the well-being for educators, which was led by Ro Muhammad. She asked us if any of us had heard of, I'm thinking it's pronounced EAP, EAP. She went on to say that only 5% of the teachers in the county have actually used it. I've been a teacher here for quite a long time, and I've never heard of this program. EAP is an employee assistance program. It's a confidential program that helps employees work out various life changes. So in this, it includes relationship issues, family problems, parenting problems, elder care, child care, or financial. They also offer 30 minutes of free legal advice. Each category offers 8 free sessions. This is also available for the teacher's spouses, children, and stepchildren. We asked Ro why we aren't aware of this, and she said she's not allowed to email us this information, which I found a little astounding. Nor is she allowed to tell us, nor is she allowed to tell new teachers about it. Apparently, we also have 3 gyms that are free to the employees, but she's not allowed to email us that information either. For those viewing this on TV and are interested in this EAP, you can call 1-800-327-9757. I repeat, 1-800-327-9757, or you can visit corporatecaretakers.com. She told us last year there were 47 visits to the emergency room by teachers for attempted suicide. Some of these could have been prevented or avoided if teachers had known about this program. Which brings me to my last point. I just find this very sad, and I don't really know which is sadder, that we weren't made aware of this program or that there were 47 attempts of suicide by teachers last year. Thank you.
Stacy Carlin, then Linda Scheich, and Michael Burgess. So Stacy Carlin.
Hello, everyone. I want to make sure these work properly and that you can hear me, because I did get a chance to watch the budget review prior to driving here. And unfortunately, I couldn't hear several of the speakers because everybody kept doing this. So, Mr. Miner, I really wanted to hear what you had to say, and I couldn't hear you. Same for you, Mr. Cologne. Okay? My name is Stacy Carlin. I've recently relocated here earlier in this past school year, and what a great place to move to and bring my family. I'm here to speak on a couple things. So far, we've met some wonderful teachers, and we've met great people vested in the education of our children. But I'm here to speak about a comment that I got from Gina on the last school board meeting that I saw and watched. You were discussing your concern over overexposure to technology and iReady programs to Interim Saunders here. And as a parent, I wanted to agree with what I saw on TV and share some of the concern that I saw you express. Last year when we moved here, my 5th grader at the time came mid-school year. At that point in time, we came from a community that was a one-to-one technology platform with standards-based grading. We did not have iReady implemented into our schools due to opposition from the county we lived in. So I did not know he was using it. I did not know until later in the year, after he was coming home with 45 minutes of iReady usage, along with 45 minutes plus of Khan Academy suggested at night. That alone was almost 90 plus minutes of screen time exposure. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, we know they have limits set forth for our children's and recommendations. Now onto my kindergartner this year. I've recently visited the classroom, and I've been told that they will be doing 30 minutes of iReady potentially a day based on what tier they come out after assessments. And that will change according to school grades as they go forward, correct? I'm not sure. I'm looking for answers. I do not want my child sitting in front of a computer every day. I think there's an excessive amount of money being spent on these programs without peer review research to back that. I do know that that question came from Mr. Miner at some point in time last year, I believe. Right now, I'd like to know where the research is backing the iReady and the implementation of the time my children are being exposed to at different levels of their grades. I also would like to know, is this money being spent on iReady, something that reading and math specialists, which was what we had in our last county, they led the interventions. There was no diagnostic testing of that. There were county-based assessments that we utilized. What I see here, and this is a new person coming from outside looking at you guys, I see a test prep culture in this area that does not exist everywhere in the United States. I understand that we all have a fiduciary responsibility to meet the mandates set forth by the state legislators up in the north. But what I want to know is that what we have set forth for our children the most appropriate thing we have for them? The excess amount of screen time. My kindergartner is going to school to learn to write, left to right, to read, to have grip strength for pencils. At that point in time, I'll save my next comments for the next meeting, but I hope you understand my concerns.
Thank you. Linda Scheich, Michael Burgess, and Marley Boss. So Linda Scheich's up next.
Good evening. It's interesting that Ron Serrana bears the brunt of the ERP failure. This did not happen in a vacuum. There are dozens of employees who are participants in this fiasco. Remember, the two board members who have been here the longest, Charlie Kennedy and Dave Miner, have taken no action to correct the problem.
I'm just going to remind you that the rules say that it is not to attack individual school, board, and public.
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm quoting what he said at a public meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
For years, the board has been warned that the ERP installation was an impending disaster. The very same words that I used in a board speech as early as September 2016. December 2017, I called for an independent audit, red ink. Shin & Company gave you a heat map every month with all the red areas designated. There's also a report done by the staff here at the school district. It's called the ERP Project Plan Risk Summary in 2016, and here's some of the highlights. There will be cost overruns, likelihood that district personnel will not adapt to the change, decisions and approvals delay project timeline, high likelihood of missing the end date of April 2017, staff are not available when needed. There's no surprises here. It's curious that as soon as Dr. Green exited the district, the hammer fell on Ron Serrana. Dr. Green is the person who edged out Don Hall and Robert Johnson, who had experience with this specific type of computer installation, and brought in another person named Fletcher with no experience, who, no surprise to us, failed miserably. Dr. Green scrapped the newly implemented $3 million Taleo system in favor of PeopleSoft, knowing that there were all kinds of significant gaps. So who's responsible for not putting the contract for Agitech out for bid? Who failed to investigate the selection process which chose to award the initial contract to a firm that went bankrupt a year later? There are many people in administration who are participants in this fiasco. Let's see them all held accountable for their incompetency.
Thank you. Michael Burgess, Marley Boss, and then Gary Adams.
Thanks. I just wanted to continue the point about that Stacy was talking about a couple of speakers ago about the technology and the use of it, and especially with our children in kindergarten and our elementary schools. Again, we need to make sure that we're educating them properly. We need to make sure that we're using the right things, we're using things that are peer-reviewed and appropriate for people at that age. I understand from for a prior board meeting, I didn't actually go back and watch it, but I understand that the interim superintendent said something about there would be, roughly 45 minutes of screen time for kindergartners every week. Right now, my understanding from our daughter going into kindergarten this week is that there would be approximately 30 minutes a day. So that's obviously much more than we would like to see. And again, we're developing things appropriate to their age. I'm not against technology. My dad was in IT for Chase for 40 years. We know what all this stuff is. We've been on the cutting edge. But we want to make sure we're introducing the technology to these kids at the right time. Our son is starting 6th grade. He's going into the career path at McNeil, or at Nolan. I think that's a really good time for it. But I want to make sure we're doing this the right way with supported research that's supported, and make sure that we're not overdoing it with the technology. Thanks.
Marley Boss, then Gary Adams, and then Bridget Mendel.
Good evening. My name is Marley Boss. If I may start by passing out some handouts to you guys. I'm not sure how many of you guys have received my emails, but I did send out emails. I believe it was early this month regarding the radio tower that's to be built adjacent to Canaan Elementary School. I feel like I'm at the perfect meeting with all these parents talking about their concerns with technology. Our community is gathering, trying to relocate this tower. We understand there's a need for it, but we're trying to protect our neighborhood, our students, our children from the electromagnetic radiation, that there are ongoing studies with radiation in regards to health, childhood development. The county went up behind the community's back and just went ahead and built this as administrative privilege by calling the tower public community use. We do have construction halted right now, but we're trying to engage the community, engage you guys to help us relocate this tower to protect our kids, our neighborhood, our community. Most kids spend more time at school than they do at home during the daylight. They're going to be exposed to this constant radiation that's about 210 yards away from the base plate at Canaan Elementary and 20 yards away from the cafeteria. So it's really close. I'm trying to get you guys to help get involved, contact the county commissioners, send out information to the parents. We do plan on putting together some flyers to pass out on public property outside of the school, because I do live in a residence that's adjacent to the entrance. So we want to engage the parents, let them know what's going on. So I urge you guys to try and take a stance on this, at least inform the community, the parents of what's going on. And if you guys have any further questions, be happy to answer them for you and assist in any way possible, act as a liaison between the school board and the community to help protect our kids is really what we're going for, along with the radiation and technology. Staring at a screen, it's going to be right under them at the school, and there's about 600-700 kids there that can be affected with autism, ADD, ADHD, all the acronyms. The rest of the countries, most of the countries in the world don't, they have a ban on having towers on school property within a certain radius. Our country has the highest power density per area in the world. That chart is in that packet for you guys to review. So just keep that in mind, and please help us relocate this away from our schools. And thank you, Mr. Kennedy, for all your help getting here tonight. Thank you.
Gary Adams, Bridget Mendel, and then it will be Stephen Boys.
Hello, my name is Gary Adams. I appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you today. I also have a handout I'd just like to have. This is a quick thing, so I might be able to give us a quick, to see a quick oversight of what Marley's just talked about. Canaan Elementary School, the Canaan Elementary Park, I have 45 acres that connect with that, so I am literally a rock's throw from Canaan School and Canaan Park. And as Marley said, the county administrator is trying to build a 185-foot highly electronic tower there, broadcasting tower. We've got a stop work order on it that's also been kicked down the road to November. We need your help to help your teachers and the students at Canaan Elementary School. They're going to, as Marley said, they're going to be sitting there in class, out on the playgrounds, and they have this highly electronic tower blasting signals out to them, and the effect of it is indeterminable. Now, here's one of the things. Y'all have been around. I've been around this town 60 years, and I saw what happened when I was here when they built Bayshore High School. And now we know the problems, aftermath of whatever the cause was of the cancer problems, high incidence of Bayshore. That Bayshore High School, that's retrospectively. We don't know what caused it, and we don't know how we might have prevented it. Here's something that you can prevent prospectively. This tower, there is no tower this tall any place in Sarasota and Manatee County that is not on an industrial or commercial site. So why would anybody in the right mind want to put it next to an elementary school, much less on property that's designed for park and recreation, and where kids are going to, and families are ultimately going to play. So as a conclusion, I just want to ask your help to help us know better how to communicate with the teachers and with the parents in the school so they are warned and aware, and they can help us with this cause of moving that tower. Thank you.
Bridget Mendel, then Mr. Boys, and Tesha Lazier.
Hi. Opt-out managed to collect multiple class schedules from across the county. We were saddened to see that every school has mandatory 30 to 45 minutes of iReady per day. We also found evidence that there's a new policy at the board where every child in Tier 2 or 3 can receive an extra 45 minutes once to twice a week per reading and also for math. That leaves a struggling learner with a possible 180 minutes per week extra on top of the 150 to 200 minutes daily required minutes per day, per week. At this point, children are in front of computers for a third of the 90-minute reading block, and the plan is to put struggling readers on the computer for 50% of the 90-minute reading block. As you know, Curriculum Associates is one of the 50 fastest growing companies in Massachusetts. Their 2016 revenue was $153.8 million. Did you know that iReady is not impartially researched or peer reviewed? Did you know that per IDEA laws, a child with an IEP cannot be remediated with instructional materials that are not impartially researched or peer reviewed? Do you know that our district will be in violation of our ESE students' federally protected rights? Years of scientific research has been done on how the brain functions. Brain-based research using fMRI, functional MRIs have outlined exactly how a child's brain learns to process information for academic success. And instructional materials have been based on this research. There is high-quality, impartially researched products, yet as where we stand today, tethering young children to computers to passively click mice while sitting for developmentally inappropriate periods of time is what we've chosen. There is no research out there to prove that young children learn better to read and write by a computer. None. We already have documentation going back years and years, study after study, that prove that a highly trained educator using developmentally appropriate materials and methods are what young children need to be lifelong learners and grade-level readers. There is no proven efficacy for iReady, yet we continue to use it year after year, and it keeps increasing its usage. It leaves parents to wonder why you would give them a hard time if they don't want their children on iReady. Back in the day, when profiteering was not so rampant in public ed, a company used to have a sunk cost for research and development. Products were field tested on the ed tech company's dime, and were tested to prove if it helped rather than hurt children. The gold standard is impartial research and peer reviews, but profiteers can't wait that long. We are paying to allow our children to be ed tech guinea pigs. You allow our children to generate the data to prove if even iReady works. This is embarrassing and unethical. I have a series of emails from iReady from a parent that proves that Curriculum Associates knows that their product is not meant for children with learning disabilities or IEPs, especially not children with dyslexia. Williams Kindergarten is probably one of the most that has spread across the United States in social media. You have 30 minutes a day kindergartners on computers. Recess at Williams in one particular kindergarten does not start until 2:45 in the afternoon. The world is watching. Educational researchers, professors, parents, highly trained educators cannot believe what is happening here in this county.
Stephen Boyes? Okay. Tesha Lazier? And after Tesha will be Charles Stanford and Brian Thomas. Tisha.
Lazier. Well, I'm here. It's not so much the education aspect, especially everyone is talking about. I'm here because I am the president of the New Manatee Broncos, and I know I was here last year talking about the fees that we had to pay to use Southeast High School, which was like $893 a game. Well, we was okay with that. We decided, okay, we'll fundraise, we'll get the money. But now this morning, I just found out that we won't even be able to use a high school to play our games or any school in Manatee County because that was pulled away, but our season started. So to find out today, we have a game Saturday. So we're just left in a pickle as far as what to do. And I was told, when I called, because the wear and tear on a field. We have children from 4 to 14. We have over 200 kids in our program. We were even saying, okay, well, we only have 5 home games. Can we do 1 home game per school if the school approve? And that way it won't be so bad of a wear if that's what they're worried about. But the fee, we decided, we're okay with that. If that's the fee, we'll pay the $900 a week. We just need a field to play on. I even called the county to try to see if it was any county fields we could use, but it's not. It's other youth programs using those fields. So now we're just at a point where we don't know what to do. We've started our season, we have our children, they're ready, and now we don't have a field. So we just need, I'm sorry.
Mr. Clark will meet you outside. We'll find you a field.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Charles Stanfer and Brian Thomas, and then Amy. All right. Check those people right off my list. Then Amy Tran, Linda Tucker, and then Gretchen Fowler.
Hi, my name's Amy Tran, and I live over in Copperstone. And you guys, okay? Copperstone is where you'll have the new elementary school that's supposed to open in 2019. And our community is gated, and the only entrance to the school is right in front of our exit. And we're hoping that you'll maybe work with Pat Neal that owns the Groves on the other side to maybe reconfigure the entrance. Even if we could have the car rider lane on his side rather than ours, that would be helpful. And then they could go to all his commercial properties over there before they come to school, and exit through our property if that could be a potential option. I hope you'll consider that, and because it's a very big concern in the community. And you guys had the ribbon cutting and lined up the streets. I understand it's because we don't have roads in there yet, and so that was the only place to park, but we're fearful that that's what it's going to end up like. We have mills down the road, and that backs up quite frequently on that busy road, and we have Moccasin Wallow. And if you'll also consider working with the county to expedite the 4 lanes, Moccasin Wallow becoming a 4-lane road to help with traffic. Thanks.
Thank you. Linda Tucker, and then Gretchen Fowler, and then Jack May.
Hey, folks, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I don't need a microphone. I understand. I'm a classical singer. I can blow the place out. My name is Linda Stewart Tucker. Ida M. Stewart Elementary School is named for my grandmother on my daddy's side. My great-great-grandfather on my mother's side named and founded Palmetto, gave the land for the schools and the churches and the library, laid out the streets, and generally founded Palmetto and named it and caused it to exist. I'm here tonight because of the issue of naming Parish High School and how to do that reasonably. And somebody earlier said we'd like to know more facts about it. I would like to tell you that just a quick perusal on the computer this afternoon of local businesses named North River, there are about a dozen, including the North River Fire District. And almost all of them are in Palmetto, not Parish, Palmetto. I have a map here of 301 going up to Parish. Closest river here's where the school's supposed to go. Closest river is all the way down here. Anything from here to Georgia is north of the river. It gives no identity to Parish. It pays no attention. There are half a dozen parishes in the room right now. To this very day, the Parish family, they didn't just start the whole dog and pony show. To this very day, they're farming and ranching in Parish and continuing to contribute to the agriculture of this county, which we're told over and over and over again is one of our most important assets. So I tend to be chatty. I got to be quick here. All right. I'm here to speak about a distressing local trend, and that is stripping local institutions of names and identities. I went to Jesse P. Miller Elementary School, Walker Junior High School, Walker Junior High School, Manatee High School, and then a place that no longer exists, Manatee Junior College. Somebody with the stroke of a pen, it no longer exists. I got nowhere to go. My alma mater is gone. It's now called some name so insipid, I can't bring myself to even say it. McKechnie Field. I could go on and on and on. One local institution after another has been stripped, has been denuded, has been renamed, and it's wrong. And if you start, parish folk don't normally come down here and cause trouble, but you start wanting to rename things in parish, you got yourself a problem.
Thank you.
Please consider, and I have a solution to the so-called initial problem. Crawford Parish High School.
Thank you.
It's beautiful and it's appropriate.
Thank you.
God bless y'all and thank you.
Thank you. Jack May, I'm sorry, Gretchen Fowler, Jack May, Norma Kennedy. I wouldn't want your shoes.
Yes, but thank you. I'm sure I will. They're getting used to seeing me now. I am Gretchen Fowler, and I'm actually here as a proud parish resident, and that's how I want to present this. We are a community of people who are very proud of where we live. I'm asking to reconsider naming the high school from North River High School to some form of parish high school, preferably parish high school. And I know that was an issue with the PHS, with Palmetto High School and with Parish High School. But Hillsborough County didn't have a problem with their two high schools that have the same initials. You have BHS, you have Brandon and Bloomingdale. Pinellas didn't have any problem with Clearwater. I think it was Clearwater and Countryside High School. Why does Manatee County have an issue with two PHSs? Just something to think about. I was asked to help a group of parish residents because they didn't know how to be heard. That's it. I took over as in a leadership role in parish over a year ago when this was all starting. So I wasn't even part of this when this began, this naming process. If it was, you probably would have heard me a long time ago. After the naming process came about, they had North River was third, Parish was second, and Seawright was first. We all made the assumption, which was poor on our part, to say that we would expect the board to go with Parish and name it Parish after Parish was nominated more than North River. We were shocked when it was named North River. We started this process of asking you to reconsider back in November of 2017. We have been back here repeatedly. We have over 1,300 signatures. We have hundreds of comments. We have hundreds of emails that have gone around begging you to please consider naming this after our town, and it's about a town. We have many things in parish. We have the Parish Civic Association, we have the Parish Arts Council, we have Parish Playworks, we have the Parish Foundation, which gives back to the community from money they raise in our community. We have the Parish Village News, we have Parish Fire Department, we have Parish Baptist Church, we have Parish United Methodist Church, and we even have the Parish Piranha baseball team. So if you think about it, we are parish. It's not about one person, it's about a community of people who don't want to lose our identity. I chose to live in parish because of the town it was in. We retired from the Marine Corps, and this was an option for us. We could pick anywhere we want. We don't want to lose where we picked to enjoy our lives and have our child, who's here in the audience supporting me, go to those schools, and they should be named parish.
Thank you. Jack May, Norma Kennedy, and then Freddie Fowler.
Good evening. My name's Jack May, and I'm here to make some comments and remind you guys of a few things, and hopefully maybe even get some answers. Who knows? One of the things that I find interesting is that we study the Constitution in the 7th grade in civics. And that's a great thing. But one of the things that we don't hear a lot about is the Florida Constitution. And the preamble to the Florida Constitution says, "We the people of the state of Florida, being grateful to Almighty God for our constitutional liberty, in order to secure its benefits, perfect our government, ensure domestic tranquility, maintain public order, and guarantee equal civil and political rights to all, do ordain and establish this Constitution." Now, the interesting thing is Article 1, Section 5, which says, "The people shall have the right to peaceably assemble, to instruct their representatives and petition for redress of grievances." Now, the interesting thing is, in instructing our representatives, sometimes you have to call them by name. So I think you may want to look at your rules and see whether or not that those rules may subjugate or your rules are more important than the Florida Constitution. I don't think it is. But some interesting things have occurred. I moved here in 1982. And the great thing is about Manatee County is that every year y'all have a first day of school. I mean, since I've been here, it has happened every year, and I commend you on that. But evidently not everybody knows it's the first day of school. I don't know if you knew, but there were some issues with getting children to and from school on the first day of school. So I just want you to know that maybe next year, since you know what's coming up, is go ahead and let folks know that we're going to have to bus children to school and bus children from school to home and not waste administrative time calling hundreds of thousands of parents because postcards didn't go out. So just something to think about, because again, it's going to happen again next year. Now, the other thing is I've heard software talked about today, and everybody's concerned with the software program, and it's costing millions of bucks and all that kind of stuff. But one of the other things that's interesting is the software program that you guys rolled out, I guess it was January of last year, Schoology. For those that don't know what Schoology is, it's a learning management system for K through 12 higher education institutions and corporations that allows the users to create, manage, and share content and resources. Well, the system right now is having some problems letting teachers make lesson plans. And of course, the old system that was there that they went to see if they could download is no longer in use, and so it's caused some issues. So you had some teachers show up today without lesson plans. That all to say this. Leadership. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Y'all all need to read it and give it to everybody in the school system.
Thank you.
Because right now, the law of the lid is killing you.
Thank you. Norma Kennedy, Freddie Fowler, and then Dr. Narina Stepanovsky.
Good evening. During the workshop, we passed out a packet and with no explanation. So I just kind of wanted to come up and let you know what really was in there, and that you might enjoy just really reading through it. This is the parish, the early years, and this goes back to 1539. So that should give you a lot of information about parish. This was written, and you've got a copy of this newspaper. It was written in 2003, and it gives you a synopsis of the history of parish. This book, thanks to Mr. Neal, is about the history of parish, and he spent many hours with Lamar Parish to gather this information. So we really appreciate that. It's a marketing thing for him, but we do appreciate it because we know he cares about parish. So that's what I kind of wanted you guys to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Freddie Fowler, Dr. Narina Stepanovsky, and then Larry Parrish.
You guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board and citizens. My name is Freddie Fowler. I'm here to talk to you today about the naming of the new high school in Parish. I'm not here to speak to you about a man, Crawford Parish. I'm here to speak to you about a township, a people's title, and integrity. I'm a retired math sergeant I've served our nation for over 20 years in the United States Marine Corps. I'm a multiple war veteran. I've served our nation and its people not for the desire for money or for fame, but to protect and serve the people of this nation and to stand for a cause greater than myself. Like you, I've sacrificed. Being a Marine, it's a title I've earned. It's a title that nobody can take away from me. Now think about that. It's a title that nobody can take away from me. Now imagine if someone was trying to strip you of your title, your identity. How much would you fight to protect it? How much would you fight to protect your identity? I'm not standing here to fight for myself. I'm standing here to fight for the 1,300 parish citizens who signed the petition to keep their identity and to put parish in the name of the new high school. Now, I'm a war fighter. I was a war fighter in the Marine Corps. I'm not a politician, and nor I'll ever pretend to be. But I do know the burden of leadership, and I know the personal sacrifice it takes to serve a cause greater than yourself. I believe the Marine Corps' values would apply here: honor, courage, and commitment. I understand that you're not all Marines, but these values do apply to us as leaders in this community, and it's our responsibility to uphold the integrity of the people. I ask you not let outside entities muddy the waters or press you into deciding. Parish is not about a man. It's not about one man or woman. It's about a township, a people. Yes, Crawford Parish gave Parish the opportunity to exist, but he is not what makes Parish a great place today. The residents are. I ask you to put Parish in the name of the new high school, and if you don't, the Parish community is just one step closer to losing its identity. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Narina Stefanovsky, then Larry Parrish, and then Rodney Jones.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Dr. Narina Stepanovsky. I'm a registered nurse, a paramedic, a veteran myself, though not a Marine. And I'm also an educator by trade, 22 years as a college educator. I'm fortunate enough to live in Parrish, Florida. We moved here in 1997, and we love it here. I'm here tonight to ask you again, please consider putting the name Parrish back in the high school. I was a volunteer paramedic with the Parrish Fire District for 14 years. There is a North River Fire District, and that's not us. We're Parrish. And we would very much appreciate your reconsideration to put Parrish in the name of our high school. We are proud. We proudly support Williams Elementary. There are many people who have some resources and time and love to volunteer. I can assure you that that would bring more of us out and be more willing and devoting to supporting our high school. We are a community, we're a proud community. You asked earlier, sir, about why didn't we do this earlier. I know the Parish Civic Association, of which my husband and I are both members, has been very active about this, but for myself, I have to tell you it was not knowing the process. So for that, I apologize. But I thank you for listening to me now. And again, we are very proud people in Parrish, and we would very much support your consideration of putting the name Parrish in the local high school. Thank you for your time.
Larry Parrish, then Rodney Jones, then Michelle Bailey.
Thank you. My name's Larry Parrish, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to say something. Linda Stewart's basically taken away everything that I was going to say. So I will, the few things I would like to add is Crawford Parrish was my great-great-grandfather. And when he came to Florida, then eventually he came to Parrish, and that was probably in the 1870s. And he was in a census during the 70s in Parrish. He had two sons, and then one of them was Crawford Jr., and one of them was John Parrish. John Parrish was my great-grandfather. And Dana's my sister. They were actually men with a vision. And one of the things that John did was he got the railroad up to Parrish. By getting the railroad up to Parrish and giving land for the depot, by doing that, what he did, he was allowed greater commerce to occur in Parrish, and that way products could be farmed and raised and shipped back and put on boats and sent out all all over the United States and literally all over the world from Parrish. The other thing that he did was the depot. And then Crawford Parish, what he did was he actually gave the land for the school. He gave the land, and he recognized the fact that two things that the community needed was a school, and which certainly all agree with that, I think. And the other thing they needed was a place to worship. Well, they were Methodists, and that's why the Methodist church in Parish, the old part of the Methodist church, was he gave the land that church is still on. Those were men with a vision. We wouldn't be here today discussing schools because there probably wouldn't be a community if it were not for those two fellows. And Parish, you know, the one thing that Parish has, and everybody in Florida wants to have tourism. I'm a retired state trooper, by the way. So I'm familiar with the fact with the tourism and the effect that it has on Florida and the money that money it brings in this county. But had not that railroad came to Parish, we probably wouldn't have the Parish train there now, today. And we probably wouldn't be discussing the school if it weren't for Crawford. Well, I'm not going to ask you to name it after any one person, but I do believe that we should seriously think about the community. What this man just told you, what Linda told you, what everybody comes up here that talks about Parish tells you. And one thing that you should think about is the community. And if you name it, that'd be a nice thing to do, is to put Parish Community in it, the Parish Community School. And that would be awful, bring people together to talk rather than to get a football team there and a good football team there, you know, and try to hire good coaches and get something esprit de corps. That's what I'm looking at. Well, thank you very much for your opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, Rodney Jones, Michelle Bailey, and Pat Neal. And Mr. Jones, I have on here that you've signed up a few different times, but under public comment, you can only speak one time. Okay?
Even if they're about different subject matter?
Are they about different items on the agenda, or are they different?
Well,
are they on the agenda?
The HR department is the real issue, but since we were talking about the parish, I wanted to comment on that too, because I did send a board a response.
Are you speaking for a group or for yourself?
Yeah, for the NAACP.
If he's speaking for a group, he would be entitled to 5 minutes.
No, that's fine. It's just he's signed up for at least 3 different times, and I wanted to make sure he understood he only gets one time.
So I get one?
One time, 5 minutes, if it's on this subject. If it's another subject, when that comes up, you may speak again.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, except for, I don't know if he signed up for anything else.
All right, well, I'm gonna crunch this.
Hold on just a second. Mr. Kennedy for comment.
Rodney, hold on. This is just my suggestion, is that this is public comment. The next item after this will be the parish naming.
Okay.
So
I can comment on the parish naming then?
Yeah. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, good. So I got 5 minutes.
Yes.
Rodney Jones here. I want to speak to some concerns that have been brought to our attention. Let me tell everybody, we're usually, I feel like I hate to have my back to you, so I apologize because I'm talking to everybody. But, you know, we get complaints. We are the oldest civil rights organization in the country, established in 1909. We were established after the 1908 Richmond riot. The Richmond riot was a time when in 1908, when a black male, two black males, one had been accused of rape of a white woman, the other had been accused of attempted rape of a white woman. A mob came into town of 5,000 people. The sheriff moved the folks away because he knew they were coming to lynch them. And instead, when they couldn't find them, that crowd became angry and they lynched 6 innocent people. And they destroyed most of the black homes and businesses in Richmond. And the NAACP was born. So we accept civil rights complaints. That is our mission. We received some complaints concerning the HR department. The first is with your HR director. We received some information that she may have or may have not left some information out of her application. I say we really
Mr.
don't
Chair.
know that part as of yet because we haven't received the public.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Jones, part of our board bylaws on public comment is that you cannot directly address school district employees.
Okay.
And if you have a specific thing to talk about a district employee, it should go through the superintendent first, not during public comment.
Okay, well, I've reached out to the superintendent.
If you could just address it without names.
Using a name or a title?
That would be helpful. That would comply with our board
What about,
bylaws.
well, someone in HR has, an official in HR, has neglected some things on their application, a serious, something that happened at the Bassett Unified School District in California that appeared to be left off. What we're really concerned is about the integrity of the HR department. It is poor. It is beyond poor, and it has set this district up for litigation, and I'm going to tell you why. Within your HR department, at the top level of your HR department, none of those people are HR certified. They don't have a SHRM certification. They're not HR professionals. That would be akin to me working in maintenance, fixing diesels, and I do that for a living, and you send me to be a principal of a school. There are two totally separate skill sets. The HR department sets the culture and the tone for your organization. It vets decisions. It ensures that you have quality employees. And so what we've done for the last probably about 3 years, we've been compiling information about employees that have been wronged, inappropriate hiring practices, discriminatory practices. We found one young lady who, we found the most highly qualified black person that we could out of Polk County to apply for 5 jobs here. The young lady has a master's degree in public administration, a master's degree in ed leadership, a bachelor's degree in accounting. Black woman speaks fluent Spanish. She's been a principal, ESC certified, contract school experience, charter school experience, and could not land a job here in Manatee County. The job went to people who were less qualified, people that were in the district. We have other concerns as well about disciplinary action. We've got the gentleman at an official at Manatee High School who was arrested for an incident. He received 3 days suspension, and he was basically got his job back. No demotion, no anything. We've got a black female principal that's now retired from the district because of the issue. She had an infraction that no law violation, no anything, a personal thing between her and someone else, no law enforcement, no anything, and she was demoted. We've got a bucket full of these. A bucket full of inappropriate conduct, inappropriate decision-making by your HR department. And I'm telling you, when you go to look at some of this stuff, it's quite offensive. Additionally, we've got, I can't use her name, but we've got a person in the district that started out at SUG Middle School, took over after Willie Clark. It was an A school. When she took it over, it went from an A to a C, to a B, to a C, to a C, to a D, to a F. They were transferred again to another public school here in the county where they got the school as an A. It dropped to a B, and then they were given a promotion with more money and more responsibility to a high school. We don't understand how that happens, but we do understand quite well how it happens because it's discriminatory. We have a lot of discriminatory practice here. We have a young lady who was in HR. She complained about student allocation. Here again, going outside of position controls. Somebody mandated that they take the numbers outside of the position controls. Lincoln Memorial was shorted 2 teachers for a large portion of last year. Emails back and forth requesting a change. It wasn't until the NAACP got involved and we made a complaint to Dr. Green that those 2 teachers were given back. But the person that made the complaint, you know what happened to her? She was, well, this person, she was actually dropped. She was transferred out of, 2 weeks later after the complaint, she was transferred out of that department, sent over to transportation, hadn't had a performance evaluation in 5 years, and then she was non-renewed 4 months later after making a complaint. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the parish community talking about that, you know, when you pick on parish, you got a problem. Guess what? You got a problem now because we're tired and we're not gonna stand for it anymore.
Thank you. Michelle Bailey, Pat Neal, and then Drexel Clater.
All right, hi, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Michelle Bailey, and I'm a resident of Copperstone neighborhood in Parish. I have a concern to kind of add on to Amy Tran's concern also. I have a concern with the traffic pattern of the car riders being dropped off. Right now, there's one entrance and exit point for the car riders. I am not a school planner. I know you guys have experts in that area. I do know that there is a possible right in, right out off of Moccasin Wallow, and I would just ask that you consider using that as a possible exit. That way there isn't only one entrance and exit for car riders. Thank you.
Thank you. Pat Neal, and then Drexel Clater.
Madam Vice Chair, I signed up for citizens' comments before you added this to the agenda.
may I respectfully ask that you defer this item so that I can speak under number 5?
Absolutely. But you can speak now and then.
All right. All right, I'd like to talk on Ms. Tran's issue, Madam Vice Chair. We've been working with your school board and working with you successfully, and we've chosen to grant our land just to the east of the middle school, and we plan to meet with them for the purpose of working with them to see if we can find a solution to the bus routing issue. So it's an area where we worked with the board. My intent here was to talk about the parish high school, but I'd like you to hear our history of this high school, the land for the high school, and our goal to assure things work out well for Manatee County.
Okay.
I'm asking that we work with Mr. Penley on the matter of trying to find a solution to the Copperstone issue.
Thank you. And last but not least, Drexel Clater.
Thank you for this opportunity. I came to Parish 5 months ago. I'm enjoying my stay. I attended the forum about Parish and the future of Parish. And I recently found out that you wanted to name it North River High School. My suggestion is put Parish North River High School as a compromise. So we're asking you to think about that and go Parish. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes public comment.
Point of order, I have a card up. I have 4 cards.
He did sign up to speak for.
I have him down for the public hearing. I didn't have him down for actual public comment. Is he also signed up for public comment?
He has signed up for the student progression plan.
Right, I have that.
And then I show him as 2 other items that one is, it says item 4. I'm not sure what that means, if that's consent or when that is. And then the other one is old business, but there's no item specified under old business.
So, okay, come on down, Mr. Gibolina.
Thank you. I don't know why I keep going through this. I keep signing up, and I haven't gotten it right yet. For the record, Glenn Gibolina, taxpayer and citizen, Manatee County. I want to talk about a little bit the things that I've heard here this evening. One is the tower, and that's in my backyard, and that does concern me. So I would like to ask the board if they've had any engagement with the county officials. I mean, they want to stick a 185-foot tower in the backyard of Canaan Elementary, and I feel it's wrong. I think you need to engage our county commissioners. They did it in a very stealthy way that the citizens in that community, including myself, aren't very happy. And I think that there needs to be some instruction, if not certainly a policy to put in place to at least debunk anything that they want to do next to a school. That's my first issue. Again, I'm here for the renewable energy policy. Hopefully we can move somewhere in a direction on any new school or public building to get some type of renewable energy. And the third thing I want to talk about is Jack May said that we get to redress our grievances and to instruct our public officials. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do here a little bit. The pecking order, this is how the pecking order works. On all the new schools and the bus depots and the buses, everything that is under the umbrella of the school district is owned by the citizens, by the taxpayers. We're the stakeholders in all that property. And if you mismanage that property or you're not transparent about the funds or the accountability, and you fail to be a good steward of either our money, decisions that are made, or property that you currently, we allow you to manage the property. You don't own it, we own it. When it comes to a point in time that you're not managing it to the best of your ability or to the best of the citizens that think you should manage that way, then that policy and responsibility perhaps needs to seek a different alternative. Maybe a professional property management team needs to be brought in, but the cost overruns on all the schools continue to go on without any transparency to this taxpayer. $20 million on the North River High School, on the parish high school, several overruns on the middle school, and all we're asking for is just transparency and accountability. So when the advisory board looks at that, you need to increase their scope of responsibility, not shorten the leash on them, because they do a great job. And I think they're going to find things that probably you don't want to hear, but we want to hear. So thank you for letting me speak.
I have one question, Mr. Gibolina,
Yes.
just so that I completely understand what you had signed up for.
Okay.
You were hoping to speak on the consent agenda
New
or
bus-
on other new business or old business, so that I
Both.
can write you down?
Both. I have new business number 10, which is the financial advisory.
Okay,
I have number 5, which is the student progress plan.
okay, that's,
And under old business is your constitutional amendment thing.
okay, so the old business that, are you able, okay, so let me write that down.
And you should have 4 public comment cards filled out.
So Amendment 8.
Right.
That's, you want to speak on that?
Yep.
And then you also said the Finance Advisory Committee.
Right.
Which is new business number 1.
Right?
Okay.
And the policy. The
And then,
student,
yes, that's a public hearing, so we will
right.
have you down for that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I knew.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I address something?
Mr. Kennedy, is that it for public comment?
That is.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
I'm sorry, you did not sign up for public comment.
Yes, ma'am, I did online before the meeting in the lobby. I also had a problem online for 3 days, signed up online. There's a problem with the software. So somebody needs to fix it. So that's why I made the comment to you.
That was your comment?
No, my comment is,
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Sorry.
You want to verify with the clerk?
She says that she did not receive that.
well, maybe she didn't, but they helped me do it outside.
I have 23 people that were able to use our software
Okay, you're talking about online?
online.
Okay. I tried to create an account, a new account. It wouldn't let me. Kept erroring out. I used 3 different computers. So it has to be a software issue. Okay? It's not my information. Because I tried it many ways.
He's not the only one that had trouble.
Okay. Up there in the front? All right, let's do the 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. For the record, my name is
He
Rick
does.
Murphy, okay? And former teacher in Manatee County, of course, and some people may know me, may not. Former school board member in Henry County, 14 years, and superintendent. Worked in Palm Beach County. When I sat on the diocese as a board member 14 years and a superintendent for 4, I always made my decisions based on what's best for the people and also the students and the taxpayers. My concern is back whenever the high school naming process started a year ago, I made some comments to people, and that's as far as it went. Not particularly the board, I wasn't here. Mainly the people in the community gave me suggestions. I can understand people on both sides of the fence, I guess you could say, but I really think the board needs to reconsider renaming the school. And it may not be tonight, because you should notice the agenda to have everybody here. Whenever you fast track and make that amendment, you get in trouble. I've learned that. So the right way to do it is to hear the comments, have it on the agenda for the next meeting, and discuss it maybe on the 21st. I can tell you from a branding point, I believe Paris High School is the best way to go. But I also think about the community, Paris Community High School, because it is a community and also parish. It serves other areas, Duet, you name it. It also leaves you an opportunity as a community high school, like in Palm Beach County where I've worked in the past. Community high schools serve not only students in K through 12, they also serve students with adult education, ESOL students, and parents. So I love the history, Ms. Tucker, and all the folks here. My daughter's been here since 2001. My kids have been in the system since kindergarten. So, as a business owner in Parrish, I believe my daughter feels the same way. Unfortunately, she's working, not making money. So she couldn't be here. She's very adamant about that. And I will say that I think the Parrish community deserves that. It's also a branding thing. It's good for business. And I don't agree with Moccasin Willow controversy about naming it North River or whatever now, because I think if you name it Parrish High School or Parrish Community High School, you can call them the Mocs. It all fits together. That's just my opinion. Whatever they decide is fine. I'm not going to get in that fight, but it's just a suggestion. All right. I appreciate your time, and thanks for allowing me to speak. And by the way, there is a problem with the system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
All right, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you. Just because it came up about 4 times tonight, I just want to make a quick comment about the board bylaws. And I agree with Mr. Jablina and Mr. May and Mrs. Scheich. I think our board bylaw applies to our employees, and the 5 of us as elected officials, we're fair game, basically. And this is the citizens' opportunity to address us and address their grievances. So it comes up like every couple of years. It seems to come up, and tonight was the night that it came up. So I just wanted to share that with my board colleagues. Thank you.
Okay. And we still are going to be working on our bylaws and operating procedures and things like that. Because this issue was added to the agenda, the superintendent and I were working through when you made the request, and we were going to put it on the agenda. We had begun the process to, identify things that had been done, and I think we're going to need to take just a recess for the superintendent and the general counsel and I, just to make sure the motion to rescind is a possible approach, because we did not finish, I don't think we finished our review of specifically in, it is line 20, the motion to rescind is, we have to make sure that there's something that hasn't been done, there's something that's been done that cannot be undone. Otherwise, we have to take a different approach to it. And the construction department had sent a list of things that had already been done and things that had been ordered. So since this is something we were going to be prepared for, but we weren't because it was added to the agenda, I think we need to probably take about a 5-minute recess and go back through the information we got. Mr. Dye.
Mr. Chair, the clerk said you never did vote on the agenda after it was amended, so that somewhere before your recess, you need to go ahead and approve the agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought we did. We amended it, and then we did, I thought we did vote on it as amended.
We do not have a second, and we need to finish that vote to approve the agenda for the evening.
Okay, well, we did 2 oral votes. We did the oral vote to amend it, and then we did an oral vote to adopt the agenda as it was amended. But we can do it again. We can do it again.
We did an oral vote for her to add her motion, and then an oral vote to move that item up in the agenda.
To bring it up,
So now
okay.
we just need to
So
approve
members, we are now approving the agenda as amended and as reordered.
Mr. Kennedy has made the
It had not been seconded, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. There was a motion,
I'll second it.
okay. So, it has been, the motion to adopt the agenda as amended, including the reordering, is there any debate?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
I think that if we're going to rescind what was done before, that is to give a name of North River High School, to this campus, we take into account that this at least claimed urgency to move on with a name, and taking that into account, then we should include, going forward, as been suggested by many in the audience tonight, with, providing a name, for this new high school, if in fact the motion to rescind the prior action is approved. And I'm just suggesting that added to a motion to rescind, a caveat would be that if it were approved, that the name of the high school would be the Parish High School. That's my motion.
Okay, so I understand you made a motion. Is there so you are moving to now amend the agenda as it was amended? Is that your motion, Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Okay, hearing no second, your motion to amend the agenda as amended fails for lack of a second. All right, any other debate? Mr. Titlebaum.
I would just like a few moments to review our policies and procedures regarding the naming, because again, as you stated before.
We do have policies and we do have procedures that we must follow.
And I do agree to see where we are in the particular process to ensure that we can change the course of what's already been decided by the school
Right.
board.
So, and let me just read the rule in Robert's Rules of Order. Actions that cannot be rescinded or amended. The motion to rescind and to amend something previously adopted are not in order under the following circumstance. And I think B is the question that the superintendent was gathering information on before we amended the agenda. And B of that part is when something has been done as a result of the vote on the main motion that is impossible to undo. The unexecuted part of the order, however, can be rescinded. So that is the reason why we had, that the superintendent had gone out to solicit from the construction department, the contracting people, to find out if there's anything that we haven't, that we cannot undo. The second part, and I wasn't going to go into the issues of the procedures, but we did identify the policy, the board's policies on naming and the procedures. And so we probably do need to discuss it. If, in fact, we can accomplish what you want to accomplish through rescinding the primary motion, then we do have the policies and the procedures to follow, because we'll have to rename it, but we'll be starting with no name. And that's like a 6 to, I think we figured it was an absolute minimum of 6 weeks with the public notice. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a 5-minute recess? Let's let the attorneys get together. The superintendent and I can figure out where we are in the documentation from the construction
We still haven't
department.
voted on the agenda.
So you're right, we should still. All right, is there any other debate on the agenda as amended? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's take a 5-minute recess. Mr. Titlebaum, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
5.
It should not be long.
Okay, 5 minutes.
I just want to let everyone know in the crowd. Hello, I just want to let everyone know in the crowd it will be another 5 minutes of recess.
We have to evacuate. For those of you, and I would like to say it was an act of God, but I don't think it was. Just so you know, we had to call the fire department because we had the batteries that are supplying the backup power to the computer systems starting putting out fumes. We did not want to evacuate until the fire department got here and said, yes, you need to evacuate. So we have to leave the building. So So I think maybe the best thing to do is, it wouldn't be adjourned. We're gonna recess on whatever date. All right, Mr. Cologne, in accordance with the requirements of the fire department, moves that we recess the meeting, and we will inform you when we will reconvene the meeting. I will tell you that we do have a meeting scheduled for the 21st. We do have a meeting scheduled for the 21st. If we find that, I would suspect you'll get a notice that we're going to reconvene this meeting probably by the 21st.
So we're not doing this tonight?
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, isn't this a board decision?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so-
It is.
Well, then you go.
All right, the fire department has ordered us to evacuate. Will
Okay,
all of the public please
I don't
move?
believe this crap.
We really do.
I can't believe.
Well, go talk to the fire marshal.
No, I'm talking to you.
Go talk
I'm talking to you. Jeez. Because he can't hear me.
I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
The superintendent told me the fire. All right.
I don't.
We are recessed.
Tonight, do we know?
I'm gonna go talk to him. He wants us out of the building.
Okay.
I mean, my suggestion is that all the batteries are putting out.
I am so tired of his crap.